First of all, you and everyone will soon have twice as many NFTs. If you're holding an NFT on Ethereum, you will soon have a copy of that NFT on PulseChain. Welcome everybody, NFT IQ here, and today we're going to be discussing PulseChain. PulseChain is an Ethereum fork from the crypto mastermind Richard Hart. It will be launching in early 2022, and there is time still for you to get in early on PulseChain. But why does this matter to NFT owners? Why am I giving you crypto news on my NFT channel? Well, the reason NFT owners should care about PulseChain is because your NFT holdings will be duplicated onto the PulseChain network. When PulseChain forks Ethereum, every asset on the Ethereum blockchain will be copied onto PulseChain, and that includes both the currency and the NFTs. Everything, the full history of the blockchain that Ethereum is using is going to be copied over to PulseChain. PulseChain is marketed as Ethereum 2.0, but happening faster, like pretty much now, and with a better implementation, with more of the details thought out, stronger leadership, and that's pretty much how they market it. The big question, though, is whether the incentives to move over to the PulseChain network will be enough to actually inspire current Ethereum users to move over to PulseChain. It's a possibility, and honestly, I don't think it's a very far-fetched scenario to see that happen. The main advantages of PulseChain that it has over Ethereum are dramatically reduced transaction fees and dramatically reduced transaction times. So it utilizes a proof of stake validation mechanism that doesn't require on the wasteful consumption of electricity. So it removes the externality of the damage to the environment and the wasteful electricity, and also screwing every gamer in the world over with GPUs, because they don't need a bunch of GPUs to mine PulseChain, right? This is a big advantage that it has that everyone should be paying attention to. And whether you like this idea or not, whether you're a fan of Richard Hart or what you think of his other projects or what you think about copying, whatever you think about this, it turns out that you're going to have full ownership of your Ethereum assets on PulseChain in the near future. And that's because, like I said, every transaction on Ethereum is going to be copied over, and you don't have to opt in. You don't have to opt in. You don't really have any choice in this matter. Here's the thing, though, is all you'll have to do to access your PulseChain network assets is use the little network toggle button at the top of your MetaMask. So I'm not going to show how to do that now, but literally all you have to do is change one setting in MetaMask and select a different network, and then you will instantly have access to your PulseChain assets once the fork has been completed. So I really do think that adoption could spread very quickly given this low barrier to entry. And I mean, think about it. Who isn't going to be interested in checking out their assets on PulseChain if they think they're going to have value? Like, if you instantly realize that you have something that's worth money on another blockchain, is something like this really going to stop you? The answer is no, and I don't think it's going to stop anybody, which is why I think this has a lot of potential. Also, another noteworthy aspect of PulseChain is the success of its sacrifice phase. I'm not going to get into the details about the sacrifice phase because it's already over, but essentially there was a pre-sale of PulseChain, and it had some kind of scaling reward system, the details of which I do not understand because I missed it. And they used the money for a donation to this organization called SENS Research, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to solving all of our most urgent health problems. So they're trying to treat different diseases or cure different diseases, which kill a lot of people by doing biomedical research. And I think that the PulseChain sacrifice phase, I don't know how they divvied up the money, but they ended up donating about $25 million US dollars to that nonprofit, which was very nice of them. And, all praise be due to Richard Hart for making that happen, which is really cool. Also, if you want to understand the sacrifice phase and more, and this is interesting, and you want to find out like how much money was really pumped into this whole thing, then check out the video in the description from a guy named Steve Hitson. You can see his channel. He is more of like a PulseChain and Hex specialist and PulseSwap and all those topics. Steve Hitson, see his channel for more info on PulseChain itself as well as the sacrifice phase. So where did all these pre-order sales come from? And as I mentioned, Richard Hart is already really prolific in the cryptocurrency space, and he's the project lead for PulseChain. And he recently had a successful cryptocurrency launch called Hex, and it launched 2 years ago on Ethereum. The price absolutely surged. It was one of those actual 10,000x scenarios. I don't know the exact numbers, but if on CoinGecko or whatever, you can see that Hex just went through the roof, especially in the last 12 months. And so the people who did well on that, they have a lot of interest in making PulseChain a success, because the original plan really for Hex was to move over to PulseChain, I think, from the beginning. So not necessarily move over, but because it's built on Ethereum, everybody who owns Hex is going to have a copy of that on PulseChain. And if they can move their users off of the Ethereum or have activity really in both, I think is another likely scenario. It's hard to say what will happen with the split. But remember, this is true for all the currencies that run on the Ethereum blockchain as well as for Ethereum itself. So everybody's going to have copies of like all their different kinds of crypto on PulseChain. And it's just something, it could be really crazy. Like it could be like a really turbulent time for the market. All this is really interesting to think about, but I'm not really a PulseChain specialist. I'm here to talk to you about why you care about this as an NFT owner. So last thing that I want to mention is Richard Hart is a very eccentric man, and I think I like him because he's very calculated and he's very well spoken. He definitely seems like the smartest person in the room. Anytime I see him speaking at a public event on YouTube or in a podcast or interviewed on YouTube, he really seems to dominate the conversation with his intellectual prowess, and I really appreciate that about him. On the other hand, I think his eccentric personality is probably going to put off a lot of people, but really none of that matters so much if they generate value on PulseChain. If the Ethereum assets have value on PulseChain, everyone's just going to go want to cash in on that. So everyone's just going to move over, and that's why this is so exciting. So in summary, your Ethereum NFTs are going to be copied to a better network, and you might as well be paying attention to this because you can at least keep track of the price of what it's going to be worth on the other network. It's going to be on different marketplaces that are going to be powered by PulseChain and connected to the PulseChain network. And you're going to be able to start trading them over there just like you do with your Ethereum ones, except for without transaction fees and way faster, more reliable, and etc. Richard Hart's crypto team is very competent. They're very strong. They have a proven track record with Hex, which he claims has had zero problems. 0 hacks, 0 transaction issues, 0 inflation bugs with Hex in the last 2 years, which is absolutely impressive. And I think that lends a lot of credence to PulseChain and its reliability and what to expect there. So last thing, be sure to check that link in the description for Steve Hitson's channel if you want more information about PulseChain. He's really where I got a lot of information for this video. And with that, I will see you in the next one.